Hi everybody. So I've been asked to make more videos, so that's what I'm doing. And yeah, if you like it or if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe or leave a comment about anything that you want to see in the future. And I've done some thinking about like what kind of videos that I want to do, and the first one is, I guess, just a generalization of hormone therapy and transitioning in general. Um, I've thought about doing like voice work and passing and dating and stuff like that. But I feel like just a generalization of hormone therapy and, what that does to you and like the, process involves and everything like that. So I figured I would start there. So the first thing is actually starting the hormones themselves. Like there's kind of a process to doing it. In my state, it's just informed consent. You sign a piece of paper and tell them that you want to do treatment and they help you with it. And looking back on it, I don't know if that's the best decision, especially, there are people who regret their transition later because they didn't feel that they got the necessary psychological treatment beforehand to really differentiate this from that. And I feel like that's very important. Um, in my case, it obviously was that I feel that I was meant to be a girl ever since I was little. And so transitioning was the right choice for me. And there's other steps after you get your hormones and stuff. So for me, it started with, I just talked to my doctor and she was like, okay, well we'll start your treatment, and I began that. And I guess the first thing that I noticed was breast growth. I had like little buds behind my breast and they were pretty painful. um, they were like little tiny knots or like tiny BB shaped little balls behind my breast, my nipple, and they hurt for a long time. Like I never noticed that they would hurt really until like I would accidentally bump them or touch them, and then it was like a shock of pain. It's like, whoa. And then I realized that they were growing. So that was pretty much the first step. The next step was the skin softening. And that still is occurring to this day. Like occasionally I find out that I feel myself and I'm like, oh, like my skin is getting even softer, especially after switching to injections. And I guess the other thing is like fat distribution. Like looking back on pictures, the way my face is shaped is completely different. My fat distribution, I'm still pretty muscular. Like I've tried to lose muscle, but for the most part, like my body is girl fat, instead of boy fat or muscle. And I would much rather have it that way. So, and then next is like, I guess the idea of passing comes into play after you transition for a long time, and you do have like physical changes and stuff. Next is like socially changing, and that can be workplace, that can be home life, that can be just going out in public. And for me it was a couple steps. So I initially went with like socially transitioning, and like I would go out to maybe like a club or something, dressed up and trying to feel comfortable. And it took a minute. It wasn't easy. And passing involves a lot of things. So like there's voice work, there's your hair length, that's a big one, and just general body shape, how you like hold yourself and everything. A lot of it came naturally to me. Like I don't feel like I had to work on a lot of stuff. But like voice work, that's something that does not just happen. um like there's a myth that estrogen will make your voice go higher, and that's not true. It is completely on your own. And for me, I had such a deep voice starting out that like this kind of voice just seemed completely unattainable to me. I thought I would never sound female or feminine or whatever, and I still think that I have a long way to go. But currently, I'm in a comfortable spot, and I feel like I'm making progress. So that's, you know, a big step. And like just passing in general, the way you look and stuff, the way you carry yourself. Not everybody wants to pass or feels they need to pass, and that's perfectly fine. But for me to feel comfortable going out in public as a female, I have to look a certain way, I have to sound a certain way, and that's what makes me comfortable. And if you don't feel like you want or need to do that, that's perfectly fine. That is on you. But that's what gave me some sanity. And going out was, you know, not having people misgender me or clock me or whatever they call it. I just get to go out and be myself and be happy. And then, you know, you see a lot more body changes and stuff as time goes on. I think around like 9 months, my body hair and my facial hair has pretty much exclusively went blonde. And you do have to get that removed on your own. It's a process, and I've tried both electrolysis and laser. Currently doing laser, and it seems to be working for me. But electrolysis is very, very thorough and very efficient, but also is very expensive and very painful. So I've kind of slipped back from that to try to do some laser and see how that goes. What else is there? Now, like, I have begun dating, and I've met somebody that's very special to me, and that makes me feel like any other girl, and that makes me feel confident and happy, and as if, you know, me having a past life does not matter. And that's all I've ever wanted. And so I feel like if you are going to date and stuff, I feel like it's key to be honest with somebody. And, you know, like, it's okay that you weren't always female, and there's going to be a lot of people that either A, fetishize it, or B, are just not okay with it, and, you know, they turn their back on you immediately after you tell them, and that's fine. Everybody has preferences. Everybody, you know, is allowed to think what they want to think, and there are people out there who will genuinely see you as you, and that just adore you the way you are, and that's what matters. Makeup, that's a big one. So do not overdo makeup. It's better to underdo it than to overdo it. If you, like, when I first started transitioning, I felt it was necessary to do like drag level of makeup, you know, full face, like heavy contour, bronzer, blush, highlight, you know, everything. And now all I wear is maybe some concealer and my eyes, and that's it. And I don't feel like I need to go over the top, and when I do, it draws attention to the wrong areas. I learned something from a trans girl way back in the day, like 10 years ago, and one thing she said about makeup is you want to focus it on one area to draw attention to that. And me, like, I've always loved my eyes, and I always thought they're big and beautiful, and so if I, you know, dress them up nicely, it draws attention. They're beautiful. That's what people go to. That's what they see. And, you know, some people, that may be their lips. I'm not really too fond of my lips because I had a cleft lip, but they look fine. I just don't want the attention to be there. I want it to be here. It just depends. And I feel like makeup is something that you have to find, you know. It's not just like a one certain thing. You can't watch a tutorial and think, oh, that's my makeup style. You have to play around with it. You have to try constantly new different things, and eventually you stumble across something that works for you and complements your face and your features and stuff. What else is there? Hormones in general, I guess I can talk about a little bit. They usually will start you on pills. And for me, that caused a lot of issues because the dosage wasn't high enough at first. And then, you kind of regulate it, but I would kind of forget about pills every now and then. Like, you have to take them 3 times a day, usually. And I would forget, and I would wonder why I feel a little like anxious or sweaty or something. Like, I just feel gross. And I was like, oh, I missed my dose. And you can't just take a dose and then take another dose because, you don't want your levels to be crazy. But that takes some getting used to for sure. Now I'm on injections and I take those once a week, and it's so much easier to remember. And luckily I have a boyfriend who can administer those for me without me killing myself with a needle. So that's a good benefit to have. Yeah, so I've considered quite a few things to talk about. And I guess I just wanted to do like a general thing of like what to expect on hormones. If you look at anybody's transition, you can kind of see a play-by-play. You can kind of see when they start taking hormones, when they start, growing their hair out, learning to style it, learning makeup. It's kind of a, periodic thing. And everybody's journey is a little different, but we all learn at our own pace. Girls growing up, they didn't just automatically know how to do makeup and how to curl their hair and stuff. So it takes a while. We're just adults doing it usually. So upcoming videos that I would like to do, I would like to do exclusively like voice work in a video. I by no means, could train somebody. I don't have that kind of like credentials or background. I just know what works for me and what makes me feel comfortable in public and what makes people not question. And so, like it takes a minute to kind of figure out. I'm 6 foot tall, so like if my voice were any higher up here, like it would sound a little more uncomfortable, I guess. So I tend to be more of a relaxed voice, and just feminize that. But my voice naturally is much lower. I also would like to do a video specifically on dysphoria. Just what makes me feel uncomfortable, what makes me, feel like I need to present female and feel the need to like remove these masculine things from my life, and that they cause me such distress and pain, and even now, transitioning, I still get that, but it's far less, and I can see a goal in mind of like things to work on that make me feel comfortable and make me feel happier in my body. I'd also like to possibly do a video on dating. That's a doozy. And then I'm getting a breast augmentation on May 13th, which is from now about a month away. And so I'd like to do kind of a little vlog of, going into surgery, during surgery, after surgery, and, a month afterwards. So I'd like to update everybody and tell them how my breast augmentation went, what I get, what size, what type of implant, everything like that. So I'd like to kind of inform people of upcoming surgeries and stuff that I'm going to do. And maybe a video on like generally passing. I'm told that I pass, but if you do or don't, you don't really know for yourself. You just kind of get the assumption of, well, I'm allowed to walk out in public and people don't call me this word or this word or this or whatever. Like they usually either A, do not care, or B, do not notice. So that's generally good. But I'd like to kind of talk about maybe the steps that go into passing and, just passing in general. But yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, and I might do like changes to my body, like what has physically changed on me. Um, and maybe like show kind of like a couple of the angles that show my fat distribution and stuff. So that would be cool. Yeah, I think that's about it. So if you have any questions or comments or want to talk to me about anything, like feel free to leave it in the comments below. I was also thinking about doing like maybe like a Patreon or like GoFundMe or something to where, you know, maybe I could like grow my YouTube channel and maybe get some better equipment, because right now I'm recording on an iPad. So we'll see about that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.